Η ταινία Συνύπαρξη, λέμε τώρα, της Άμπερ Φάρες, κέρδισε το μεγάλο βραβείο, τον Χρυσό Αλέξανδρο, στο φετινό 27ο Φεστιβάλ Ντοκιμαντέρ Θεσσαλονίκης. Στο επίκεντρο βρίσκεται η Εβραία stand-up κωμικός Νόαμ Ελιάσι, η οποία παρουσιάζει ένα μοναδικό προσωπικό και πολιτικό σοου, εστιάζοντας στον μοναχικό και εξαιρετικά δύσκολο αγώνα για συνύπαρξη και ίσα δικαιώματα ανάμεσα στο Ισραήλ και την Παλαιστίνη. Η μαχητική κωμικός σχολιάζει τις σχέσεις, τα ταμπού και τις προκαταλήψεις των δύο λαών, με καυστικότητα και χιούμορ, προσκαλώντας το κοινό να σκεφτεί διάφορες πτυχές αυτής της μακροχρόνιας και πολύ αιματηρής σύγκρουσης Ισραηλινών και Παλαιστινίων.
I think the idea of the show came even before I started doing comedy. You know, as a political activist and working in the UN, there were very rigid boxes, and I couldn't really see the impact that I was making. Maybe, you know, influencing like 20 people, 200 people at a time, and it was so, you know, so much work without being able to see how I can really influence the discourse. And, you know, I was always like the storyteller of the group. I loved the stage. I was always the funny person. And I think that at some point, I looked around and I said, nobody's listening to politicians anymore. People are listening to comedians. And then I heard that in the Ukraine, a Jewish comedian wrote a comedy about becoming the president, and he became the president. So I was like, if I want a political career, I need to start making jokes. The idea of the show, it's kind of like a provocative title, Coexistence Mass. I wanted to challenge the peace industry that I grew up in. I grew up in the only community in Israel where Palestinians and Jews live together by choice. And there was always all these like peace and coexistence activities. And I wanted to break down my experience about, you know, how I think, you know, what coexistence really means. And it has the word existence in it. You know, we can't coexist if the Palestinian side is not existing. And as an Israeli Jewish comedian that also learned Arabic because I grew up with Palestinians, I was educated by Palestinians, it's another native tongue to me. I wanted to use all my languages in order to, you know, break down these stories. All my life I was kind of advocating that we cannot see a breakthrough and we cannot see coexistence if we don't acknowledge the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room being the occupation and Israel's occupation of Palestine. And unfortunately, we didn't challenge this in time and we didn't solve it in time. And now we have an even bigger issue, a more devastating issue to tackle, which is the genocide. My parents said, let's not raise our kids to be normal.
Το ιδιαίτερα επίκαιρο ντοκιμαντέρ έχει στον πυρήνα του τη stand-up παράσταση της Ελιάση, η οποία δημιουργήθηκε στο Πανεπιστήμιο του Χάρβαρντ και παρουσιάστηκε στο ζωντανό κοινό. Δεν παρακολουθεί απλώς τη μεταμόρφωση της ίδιας μιας πρώην διπλωμάτισσας του ΟΗΕ που έγινε κωμικός, αλλά αποτυπώνει και τη σύνθετη πραγματικότητα της περιοχής και τις πολιτικές εξελίξεις στο Ισραήλ από το 2020 μέχρι και την τρομοκρατική επίθεση της Χαμάς τον Οκτώβριο του 2023. Πόσο εύκολο είναι να μιλάει κανείς για συνύπαρξη Ισραηλινών και Παλαιστινίων μετά τα τελευταία γεγονότα και την κατάσταση στην Γάζα?
Just because my opinion is a very small minority right now, and just because there is a lot of fear saying what I'm saying, doesn't mean that I will stop saying it. Yes, it's very, very difficult. We get a lot of pushback. People's attention and ability to listen to what I have to say right now, I can hardly even get to people, but it doesn't mean that I will shut up, and it doesn't mean that I need to, you know, erase what I want to say, because now it is the time to speak.
Η σκηνοθέτρια του ντοκιμαντέρ Άμπερ Φάρες γεννήθηκε στον Καναδά και έχει καταγωγή από τον Λίβανο. Μοιράζει τον χρόνο της μεταξύ Μπρούκλιν και Δυτικής Όχθης. Δούλευε ενώ ο Ισραηλινός στρατός βομβάρδιζε το σπίτι και την οικογένειά της.
Noam and I are old friends. We've known each other for at least a decade, if not more. I lived in Palestine for many years while I was making my first feature film and met Noam there. We met up after many years, and she was telling me about this comedy show, and I thought, oh, this could be a really interesting documentary as she tries to make this comedy show. You know, first and foremost, we need to stop killing Arabs. Palestinians, Syrians, Lebanese. I mean, that's the first solution. And I think that there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work to be done. And it's a lot of, there's been, you know, over the years, a lot of dehumanization of Arabs and of Muslims. And I think that those are all things that need to be addressed before we can even talk about a solution.
Με τη βράβευσή της στο 27ο Φεστιβάλ Ντοκιμαντέρ Θεσσαλονίκης, η ταινία μπήκε αυτόματα στη λίστα προεπιλογής για το επόμενο βραβείο Όσκαρ καλύτερου ντοκιμαντέρ.
Let's begin with my ass.